What is up, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Dudes Who Bet Sports.
So you want to bet sports, but you need some advice on how to cash in big at a heck of a price. Well, if you want enough money to line your shorts, then you're in the right place. This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Dudes Who Bet Sports Show. The famous rant edition, I think, is what the sports show is going to be called today. You know, Papa Dude, I'm really sick of talking about Oklahoma, but it seems like something always comes up this year. News broke Caleb Williams in the transfer portal officially about 2 hours ago. Just the initial thoughts when you heard about Caleb Williams.
Not surprised. None whatsoever. I've seen all the things in the chat, and everybody thinks that I'm horribly upset because of him and what it's going to do to Oklahoma. No, I'm pissed off about what it's doing to the sport I love. We no longer have college football, folks. We have the NFL at the collegiate level.
We have NFL junior or, NFL light.
Yes.
It's crazy. But it's almost worse. Because in the NFL, you have a contract, and if you want to lock a guy up for 2 years, 3 years, right, you negotiate that, you do that. These guys are 1 year, and then the next year they could be anywhere, and the next year they could be anywhere. We have definitely entered the free agency period of college football.
Free agency is what it is, and they're going to have to do something. I am sick at this because this is my passion. College football is my passion, not just Oklahoma. It's college football in general. Yeah. And what we're looking at are a bunch of guys who are very savvy. Okay, these guys like him and others. And by the way, before we get any farther, he may come back to Oklahoma. You know what? That's not even the issue. The issue is he's holding everybody ransom. I want to read his statement. He said, I've got to see who may offer the best preparation and development for my future career. Mm-hmm. That is such a pile of crap. What lawyer came up for that? With him, came up with that for him. No. That's not what this is about. This is holding out for the most money I can get. And it's that simple. Holding out for me and my parents, and his parents are behind all this crap too. They're very, very savvy. These people are savvy. College football, as we know it, is gone. It is gone. And it didn't take very long for this NIL thing to ruin the whole deal. We kind of knew it was going to. I didn't think it'd take this. I thought it'd last a little longer before they figured out how to manipulate everybody. So now the very thing that the NCAA has tried to do for years, which is to keep cheating from happening, is now legal. Mm-hmm. Give them whatever they want. So he's playing Russian roulette, whatever, with everybody. How much are you going to give me? What are you going to give me? I'll come here. How much are you going to give me? Now, if that's not what he's doing, I apologize to him. But that is what he's doing.
I was going to say, that is what he's doing, absolutely. Okay, a few things. Dennis says there are some circumstances that I can understand. The transfer portal. Bo Nix, is one. Jalen Hurts, when he came to Oklahoma, is one. Here's the deal. I don't disagree with the transfer portal. It's the two together, the transfer portal and the NIL together. Right. Because the transfer portal is one thing. You actually are, going to another school to try to maybe get a better coaching staff. Maybe their offense fits you better. Things like this. This situation, and it's not just him, like you said. It's widespread. It's basically, where can I get paid the most now?
Exactly.
And you said another thing that makes a lot of sense. the problem is he's not made his decision, and then it's holding Oklahoma from making their decision.
Absolutely.
But you can see where this is going. It's all just a big snowball effect. Okay, somebody took Oklahoma's quarterback. Okay, now Oklahoma has to go take somebody's quarterback. Yeah. And then on and on and on down the line. And you remember, Papa Dude, the first show we did, we talked about this, right?
Yes, we did.
And what did you say? You said the rich will get richer and the poor will get poorer. And that seems to be what's happening.
Absolutely. And here's the other thing. Remember when we used to think, and I really believe it used to be this way, they played for whatever team you like, Arkansas, Missouri, Alabama, Oklahoma, because they love to play for that uniform. Remember when we used to think that?
It used to be it really wasn't even that long ago. I can remember back when I was maybe high schooler, it felt like that, where now it definitely is starting to wane, and it's more of who's the highest bidder. Okay, I'll play for them this year. Wait, who's the highest bidder this year? Okay, then I'll go to them. And what Jason said is true. Most of the top players are going to do exactly what Caleb was doing. It's all a money grab. How can it not be a money grab? There are no rules to this whatsoever. Rules. These kids are 18, 19, 20 years old. And, in Caleb Williams' situation, we're talking about $1 million or more. In some of these other situations, like, the Texas A&M offensive lineman, each got $100,000 supposedly in this new recruiting class. It's a lot of money. Guys, even to me, that's a lot of money. All right. Think about when you were 18 years old, how much money that is.
Well, a lot of these guys come from no money. They don't have any money. A lot of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, you're right. There's no rules. It's not okay. It's sleazy as it can be.
Yep.
But it's not illegal.
Yep.
And these guys got their hands out, and their parents they probably even got agents dealing with them now.
I think they do in some ways. And I think the universities that are ahead of the curve kind of have agents facilitating these deals as well for them. So yeah, it's crazy. And it's like we were talking right before the air, Oklahoma's not crying poor. It's not like they can't come up with the money. But they don't have as much money as some of these other schools. When you're talking about boosters, we talk about Texas. You talk about Texas A&M. Oh, you might have, let's just throw out a number. I don't know what it is. 10 guys that have a ton of money that they can back. Texas may have 50. A&M may have 50.
Right. And what about these traditional administrators at these universities that think this is bad, that they have fought for years to make sure this doesn't happen. Yeah. And now suddenly you're going to sell your soul to the devil just so you can keep up with everybody else?
Yeah, and it's interesting. The athletic director at OU, they put out a release and they mentioned, hey, we're working. They had to say, we have NIL deals we're working on. We're trying to facilitate that. That's the world we're in right now, because I think the wide speculation at OU, and I'm sure other places, are, we don't have the money to compete with these schools. We don't have our NIL deals correct or right or whatever. There's a ton of changes that are going to have to be made. I think once a kid commits to a school, they're going to have to say, okay, you're there 2 years maybe. And hey, NIL, the most a kid can make is X amount. Right now, what it reminds me of is a league that doesn't have a salary cap, right?
Exactly.
That's why you make a salary cap. That's why most pro sports have a salary cap to combat this kind of problem, right?
Yeah. It just goes back to what I very first said. We no longer have college football.
Yeah.
We have, as you said, NFL junior. Only worse.
Yeah, and Jason points out Oregon, another school that has a guy like Phil Knight. So, but yeah, another great example. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a good example. And Phil Knight is a booster of the University of Oregon. That's fine as long as you have him under control. And he's donated money the legal way in facilities to make the place better. Now he can do whatever he wants if he chooses to do so.
Yeah.
And it's this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. And again, people think that I'm upset that OU's football just went down the tubes. Folks, it's going on everywhere. If you want to root for a team like Texas A&M that's paying all their guys, I don't want to root for this. I just don't.
Yeah.
It's sleazy and it's ruined what I loved about this sport.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you too, because here's the deal. Okay, I don't want Caleb Williams to leave. I mean, I think everybody knows it's watched us through the year. We think he has tremendous talent, right?
Well, I think he's very intelligent. I think
At the,
he's a special person.
but at the same time, it's Oklahoma, and we'll
Mhm.
just go get another one. I really believe that. Maybe not as good as Caleb Williams, but Oklahoma, like people today were like, oh, if Caleb leaves, we have no quarterbacks. Guys, we can use the portal too. We'll just go get somebody else. And then, like I said, and it's the schools, and believe me when I say I'm like with you, I love college football. I mean, I sit there and watch all these bowl games, and I think having a team like Cincinnati in the playoff is good. But we're getting further and farther away from letting guys like our teams like Cincinnati, in the playoff. It's the gap is going to be tremendous now.
Well, and now every year you're going to be faced with this. Like, is this guy going to stay? Is he going to leave? Mm-hmm. Have we done something to make him mad? How would you like to be a coach with these guys?
Yeah.
It's practically impossible.
So I want to throw this comment up here real quick because not that one. Sorry, Sandy. But to Michael's comment, he said, unpopular opinion, sports and education institutions shouldn't be mixed. I don't think they really are anymore. I think it's name only. With what's going on now, it's name only. Like
it is.
Yeah, sure. They're playing for Oklahoma. They're playing for Alabama. But that team and that institution are pretty much two different things.
Oh, they're totally separate. They live in different places. They are fed differently. These athletes are controlled by whatever sport they're playing.
Yeah.
It is. They're not part of the college.
No.
Like it used to be. And they're there simply to see if they can get to the NFL. That's basically what it's come down to. And here's another thing. Not very damn many of them are going to make the NFL.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. This is just, and again, he could be on the up and up and he wanted to take a vacation and clear his mind and all of that. But I think he's had plenty of time to make up his mind whether he can get along with Brent Venables and the new offensive coordinator.
Yeah. And listen, I think right now, like Michael again, you might be thinking you're having unpopular takes. I kind of think outside funding to control the NFL junior leagues. I don't think we're that far away from doing it because, Michael, I got to pull your comment up here. You were talking about there it is. Salary caps are for socialists. Well, every league is going to employ a salary cap, and I think that's going to happen with college football. I mean, with college athletics in general, because it's not going to work. It's not going to work the way it is right now. So there's a lot of things that have to work out. Here's the problem: we have prehistoric people running the NCAA that have to figure out new problems that new minds need to learn to figure it out, and not these people that have operated under these old rules for 100 years.
I don't think this is an NCAA problem. I don't think there's anything to do about it.
Yeah, no, that's true. But they need to set the guidelines. They're going to have to step up and come up with something.
Okay, can somebody then take them to court and the courts decide that their guidelines are not legal? Because that's what's happened. The NCAA didn't want this to happen.
Yeah.
So I think this is just a problem that when you take this to court, I guess the courts probably ruled correctly. But at the same time, we've got to get back to why you go to college.
Yeah.
And why you're given a full ride scholarship and why that should be important to you. That's what these parents and these kids need to learn, because I'm going to tell you, people, the chances of your little darling playing professional sports is nil. It is practically nil.
That's the problem, right? And everybody's treating it like, well, this is a step to the next step. That's not how this is.
No.
There a very, 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 very few percentage of these college athletes are going to be professional. That's just how it is.
Right. And they don't, their years of service in the NFL, it's not very long.
Yeah, another limited thing. And maybe you make the NFL if you're very good and you play 1 year, and then what? Yeah. So
absolutely.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's definitely the thing that's just it's a big time problem. Jason's right. He also said these coaches, they got to do something where the coaches can't up and leave. The problem is it works both ways, but you can't say you can't up and leave, but we can fire you at any time, So that's something that you're just never going to be able to fix, unfortunately.
You can't. And it's a problem. The transfer portal is a huge problem. I know we went round and round on it. To me, the system they had before worked. You can transfer, but you lose a year. You have to sit out a year. And I know that their coaches leave, the coaches that recruited them, and you have a very valid point. But we see what happens when you loosen the rule.
Yeah.
They take advantage of it. Yeah. And if you have to sit out a year, that makes you hesitate a little bit about leaving. So, again, we've got to get it through to kids and parents. You're going to college to play football and get an education first. If you make it to the NFL, that's fine. What parents are seeing is this huge money that's out there to be made by these athletes, but they don't realize their kid may not be as good as they think he is.
Yep.
And that's the problem. And I saw it in high school over and over and over again. So
the problem is, I think that ship has sailed. And so they've got to regulate it as best they can. And right now, like I said, it's a wild, wild west out there.
It is.
And
you can't blame them for taking the money.
No, I don't blame the kids one bit.
Absolutely not.
I just don't. I'm with you on that one. Dennis made a good point. There's really, it doesn't really feel like there's rivalries anymore because it's kind of just, the passion of, I grew up a fan of Team X and I'm going to go play for them.
Well,
it's kind of over, and the kids are changing schools and everything else. So
loyalty. There's no loyalty. That's what it is. There's no loyalty.
Yeah.
I wrote an article on the Bulls season, and it was a great Bulls season. It really was.
Yeah.
And I wrote an article about loyalty, and it's gone. And what this opting out of the bowl games, which is becoming so common for these players, it makes no sense to me. You work with your teammates every day through the summer, through summer football preseason practices, which are brutal. You play the games. You get a reward to go to a bowl game, usually in some sort of warm climate. It's like a week vacation, and you get to play a game one last time with your players, with your friends, the coaches, for the university that kissed your ass and made you a rock star.
Right.
And you don't do it because you have no loyalty to the institution. You only are thinking about yourself and the chance you have to make money. And it's just a problem we can't fix.
Yeah, it's out of control right now. And Michael Myers said he runs a youth basketball league with 800 kids in it. I agree. Every parent thinks they have the next Jordan. Michael working at a sporting goods store.
What you're going to say, Aaron? I know what you're going to say.
For as long as we did, it's a fine line when you're in that situation, and maybe your situation as well, Michael. Parent comes in and bragging and how great their kids are, and every one of them is the next great player that's going to be coming through, and it's just like you got to bite your tongue because you want them to spend money at your store, but you also want to tell them, I guarantee you they're not as good as you think they are. So
no, and you know what I used to tell them too, especially kids playing basketball. The first thing I would say to them is is your kid white?
Yeah, well, yeah, you're playing basketball. You're in
I
big
know
trouble.
I shouldn't say that, but
Yeah,
what are the chances of your son
yeah,
making money in the NBA if he's white?
yeah. That's absolutely
Do
right.
the math, people.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
the math.
Have you watched an NBA game? Have you watched any athletic event at that level?
I tell people, because you and I have been so privileged to go to OU and be close to these players and see them.
Yeah,
They're freaks. Their
yeah.
size, their ability to run, it's unbelievable. And every kid should go down there and see how big and powerful these people are, and every parent should.
Yeah.
So it's out of control.
People loved the basketball comment there.
Yeah.
Dude. Welcome to the segment of "Is This Racist?" on the Dudes Who Bet Sports.
Well, I knew you were going to say that, but
no, you know what? It's not. It's not. It's
racist.
reality.
It's truth.
Yeah, it's not. You didn't say anything. You didn't say anything wrong. You said that the reality of the situation. I mean, I'm with you on it. It's pretty funny. Let's see. We've got so many comments here. I can't keep up. I had a few up here that I really liked, and then
there's some dandies. I tell you,
ranted on something else. Let's see here.
Pull up a little farther past Michael Myers there, where it says, "Hey."
Yeah, I don't know, but anyway. So yeah, it's a. Jody said, but don't the players have a chance to make the money while they can't? I don't really think the money part of it is the problem.
No.
I think the amount, I think everybody just needs to have some sort of cap. I don't mind these guys getting paid, but I don't think, we're off to the highest bidder of, okay, he's offering $1 million, he's offering $2 million, he's offering $3 million, and get into a bidding war. I think it's got to be regulations to it. But I do like that they're getting paid. I do like that they're making a little bit of money.
I'm going to argue with Jody here just a little bit because I'm old. Jody, they're getting paid. They're going to college free.
Right.
They're getting a free college education. They're no different than anybody that's played that damn sport forever and ever. Why should they suddenly start getting paid? No one else has.
Yeah, but I think they should suddenly start getting paid because that's wrong that nobody before them did.
Well, they are getting a stipend each month.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this. They don't know this. I'll throw one more thing out there, and I know this is chicken feed compared to what they can make with the NIL.
Yeah.
This is what each Oklahoma player got before they went to the Alamo Bowl. Okay. Every player got a new pair of Jordan tennis shoes. $200 Jordans.
Yeah, that's $200 probably.
Every player
mm-hmm.
got one. They got 2 Nike and or Jordan hoodies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What, $100 a piece?
Yep.
Okay. They got sweat outfits, sweatpants.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Shorts. They got like 3 or 4 outfits to wear at the Alamo Bowl.
Yep.
Okay. This is on top of twice through the season getting all of this equipment given to them, all Nike, Jordan brand stuff given to them because they play at OU or Arkansas or Alabama or any other place. It's not just Oklahoma. When they got to the Alamo Dome, by the way, they don't stay in the Super 8 or Motel 6.
Yeah.
They stay in the most luxurious hotels there is in wherever place they go. Okay? And they're down there, what, a week?
Yep.
Week's paid vacation, basically. When they got off the bus and they went to a meeting room, they were given $450 cash, every single one of them, and a gift card worth $500 that they could spend wherever they wanted.
Yep.
I'm sorry, folks. I feel no sympathy for them whatsoever. Because you talk to any college kid that's not on a full scholarship, what he thinks about that, and I guarantee you what the answer would be.
Yeah, for sure. And again, I don't I don't disagree that they're pampered. I also disagree. They should be able to earn something. Like, for example, a kid at OU this year, he did a podcast every week with one of the websites.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff, I don't think that's hurting anybody.
No.
He had made a great interception, and they printed T-shirts with his logo. I don't think that's hurting anything.
That's what this NIL was intended to be.
And I think that stuff's fine.
Yeah.
The local car dealership wants you to do a commercial. Great.
Yeah, no problem.
But you cannot be saying, here's $2 million, come to our school. That's what they've got to limit.
I think you've got the right idea. There's a cap.
Yeah.
On how much each guy can make.
Yeah. And Jody's right. They are the ones that are taking a chance getting hurt. There is and again, Jody, I think I'm with you. I think they should be compensated somewhat. So
well, okay, but you got to be against going and selling your services to the highest bidder.
Right.
You have to be against that, right?
Yeah.
That isn't right. If you want to do a little radio show, I don't see anything wrong with that either.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you got the right idea. There needs to be a cap.
Yeah, and Lindsay chimes in and basically saying social media interactions with the followers, YouTube channel views, TikTok views, seller jerseys, merchandise, stuff like that. But company endorsements maybe should not be allowed. Yeah, I think pretty much that sums it up. Yeah,
it's a mess that we can't fix.
Yeah, it is a mess. And like I said, I think the biggest problem is we love college athletics, and we are fearful that it's going to be ruined. And I think I can't remember, Mark. I think you said something about, they got to see this, and maybe they can make it go back to the way it was. I think we're too far gone. I don't think we're going to go back to the way it was. I think once this floodgate opened, then all of a sudden we are where we are with this. So.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. You may know this was a court-ordered thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So how can you go back to? How can you fix it? I don't know how you can.
Yeah.
If it was court-ordered, and because I guarantee you, the NCAA had nothing to do with this. They didn't want this to happen.
Right. Yeah. I think it was a court-ordered thing. They were trying to get it blocked for sure. And Mark is a fan of Wyoming, and Mark, again, I saw your comment. They lost he said 11 starters to the portal. And I mean, how does Wyoming compete with NIL? How does Wyoming replace 11 starters?
They can't.
These are guys that you recruit and you think they're going to be there 4 years. I mean, that situation, you got to just ignore that. You got to every year it's going to turn over, but that's only going to hurt schools like Wyoming, schools like what, Mark, roots for. And, it's just going to make it worse and worse. And I think Michael Myers said something about, well, the gap's already pretty big. And that's true. It is. But it's just going to get bigger and bigger. So,
yeah, it's a mess. Well, here we go. What's Lincoln say?
Lincoln said at USC, you make a bowl game, we give you a cameo appearance in Tinseltown. So Lincoln is definitely lobbying for Caleb Williams tonight. I'm surprised. I thank you, Lincoln, for joining us while you're trying to.
I would like to hear your 2 cents since you're an expert on recruiting these brats.
Well, last thing. It's kind of a mystery why Lincoln Riley left still. I wonder if this had a lot to do with it. I wonder if he saw the writing on the wall and said, well, USC probably got the donors, probably got the backing.
I was thinking, seriously, I was thinking about that today. I really was.
Yep.
And I was thinking that maybe he did see this. Maybe he was wanting NIL deals and the administration might have said, no, we're not going down that road. I don't know.
Well, as recruiting heavy as he was, I think this does start to kind of point towards, maybe this was part of it. Maybe OU does have some problems. And then OU, if they do lose Caleb Williams, I think that speculation just escalates. Here's something I hadn't thought of until Kevin brought it up. Imagine if T. Boone Pickens could have participated. T. Boone Pickens, if you guys don't know who that is, a big booster for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. He passed away a couple of years ago. Yeah, this would have been his dream right, to have this situation.
Well, it's like Phil Knight we were talking about at Oregon.
Same thing, yeah.
And that's why the NCAA had rules against this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why this could blow sky high. T. Boone Pickens loved Oklahoma State athletics, so he donated money to improve the facilities and then got the facilities named after him because that was the legal thing he could do to support the program. I see nothing wrong with that. Nothing.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see what he would think of this today. That is definitely for sure. Mark says famous Idaho potato bowl for life. Jason Hama made a good comment. He said, notice Lincoln Riley shows up and magic has disappeared.
I've wondered about that.
Very interesting. Dennis checking out. See you Thursday, Dennis. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Mark said, Kevin, spot on. Collegiate powers could be shifted by schools who have billionaire trustees. Absolutely right. And yeah, Lincoln chimes in with Phil Knight at Oregon. Lincoln, you got OJ Simpson. Maybe he can help out. I shouldn't have said that.
That's good.
Should have said it. All right.
Yeah, OJ Simpson, Reggie Bush.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I'll throw this up one more time. I think this could make big time difference. But here's the other thing. I'm gonna finish with this, and then we're going on to NFL rants. Okay, I'm trying to think. If I had a lot of money where I could help, I just feel like I wouldn't want to just, hey, I'll just throw some money at some kids so where I went to college is better at football. I think the people that do this are losers. I'm sorry. Like, if I had a lot of money, that's like the last thing I would want to do.
I think what they are wannabe athletes, most of them, that weren't any good. And so they're kind of big shots. And this is a way they can go to anything they want to go to. Yeah. They get the best seats. They get to hobnob with the coaches. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what I think.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I don't know. We're huge fans, and I'm like, if I had a ton of money.
Right now, Aaron, I was so excited about the season.
Yeah. I
had really lost a lot of interest in OU football compared to what I usually am. Yeah. And then all this went down, and Venables was hired, and he said all the right things, and Stoops got us all fired up again, and it looked like we were heading the right way. And now I'm down in the dumps again. And this by Mark is fantastic.
I heard OJ Simpson and Bernie Sanders are going to be in a mittens commercial where OJ makes sure they God. And Lincoln comes in and says OJ can intimidate players to come to SC.
You better put the knives up, Lincoln.
And a lot of people do that. Let's see. All the boosters and powerful people step up. Here comes the Ivy League, Harvard, Yale in the 2029 national championship.
That would be great.
It's a new world we live in, man.
I don't think that rule pertains to the Ivy League. I don't know whether you can do the NIL in the Ivy League.
I bet you can.
Oh God.
All right, let's move on. We do have some NFL to talk about. Well, I guess last comment to sum this up, and to Papadu's point, Mark says, my love of college football dropped a peg or two this year. Yeah, I don't think that's a wrong statement. I think in the pros, there's no bones about it. They are what they are.
Exactly.
In college, maybe it was going on behind the scenes, but it was like, oh, this is kind of more of a pure sport situation, whatever. And now it's like, yeah, that's not at all. If not, it's even worse. So, yeah, I get it.
Before we get into this, let's briefly, if we're done with, I think we're done with this segment.
Yeah, we're done.
Let's briefly talk about the Final Four.
The playoff?
Yeah, just
brief. We were going to do that, so let's do it first since it's here with the college. I'll pull that up now, and then we'll talk NFL. Let me pull up college. I was definitely going to do that, so if you want to do that now, we can definitely do it. Okay, you want to talk about the Final Four first? I mean, game by game, or do you have let's
go through the bowl games real quick, and then
okay. Well, we'll start with the Final Four, I guess, then, because that was New Year's Eve. Cincinnati and Alabama. Alabama wins 27-6. this really wasn't ever much of a game. You kind of knew from the start Alabama was going to win after you saw a couple of possessions. So, yeah, give us your thoughts on Alabama Cincinnati.
Well, the only thing I wanted to mention, Aaron, and I texted you and told you what I found when I researched it. There have been 16 Final Four playoff games. 16.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know only 3 of them have been decided by one score or less?
Yeah.
The other 13 have been just like these were, total blowouts. So, are we getting the 4 best teams in there, or are there just 1 or 2 teams every year? Or wouldn't it be better maybe to have a 12-team playoff? Maybe we could at least get a good game in there somewhere, because these were horrible.
These games were both bad. The other game was Georgia 34, Michigan 11. And listen, Cincinnati, I saw some people saying, well, they didn't belong in it. Michigan was worse. Michigan was a joke. That game could have been 80-0. They sucked. Cincinnati up front could hold their own.
Right.
On offense. When Alabama was on offense, the defense in front of Cincinnati held their own. They couldn't block Alabama. But they were able to keep it close. Michigan just got blew up both sides of the ball.
They got slaughtered.
Yeah. Here's the deal. Somebody texted me. Well, Eric Norris texted me and said, how could they have made this better? I said, really? Like Alabama and Georgia were the only 2 teams were that good all year, right?
I guess.
I don't know how they could have made it better.
I don't either. I heard an interesting point today that I hadn't thought of. A good point was these teams haven't played for a month.
Yeah.
There's too much time off between the Final Four and their last game of the season, and they do lose a little bit of an edge. Where if you had a 12-team playoff, they wouldn't be in this kind of condition when they got to the Final Four.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I think that's a lot of it. You see slow starts a lot of times from teams. Yeah, I picked Cincinnati plus the points. And if you would have said, hey, Alabama scored 27, I would have said, great, we covered. But they couldn't move it. I anticipated them struggling, but not 6 points struggling.
Well, the other game is the one that just shocked me.
Oh, yeah.
Not the fact that Michigan had trouble moving the ball, but I thought they could stop Georgia, and they didn't. So, yeah.
Well, it was just a disgusting performance by Michigan. They were just awful in this game, and they were outclassed completely.
Yeah.
Now, you talked about, hey, if we had a playoff, if that was 12 teams, maybe we would have better games. Well, here's some of the teams, not saying that they would have been matched up against each other, but here's some of the teams that would have been involved. That happened on New Year's Day, and the games were absolutely better, right? Oklahoma State and Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl. Notre Dame gets way ahead, looks like it's going to be a blowout. OSU comes back and wins 37-35. I mean, that was a great game.
Fantastic game. And it hurts me to say this, but Oklahoma State showed a lot of courage and a lot of guts to come back from 28-7 to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the best team in Oklahoma. I don't care what anybody says. By the way, we're not having any NIL problems up there.
Yeah.
Or at Notre Dame, for that matter.
Well,
but,
that's true.
This next game would have been a playoff game if there were 12 teams.
Yeah, exactly. Ohio State and Utah. This was the best game of any of the bowls, I think, in the Rose Bowl. Ohio State, another team, they get way behind. They come back and win it 48-45. A great game.
It was a fantastic game. Entertaining.
Yeah.
I thought Utah played great. I really thought they might be able to stop them a little better than they did. But bottom line, Ohio State's got a few too many athletes for them on the offensive side. But is Ohio State the new Oklahoma?
Yeah, Mike Somich texted me that as well. He said, boy, this is like watching Oklahoma play. Yeah. And I said, well, what's really funny is Papa Dude said, hey, they're the new Oklahoma before the game. So, yeah, that turned out to be exactly right. It did look like they were watching a OU or a Big 12 game. So it was definitely interesting. And Lincoln says that Utah secondary. Ugh. Hey, Lincoln, that's who you get to face next year. So maybe.
Well, and he should know what poor secondaries are all about. Right?
Yeah, That's right. He's played a lot of them.
He's seen a lot of them at OU.
Yep. Yep. And Mark said Ohio State's a program that needs to use the portal, NIL, and recruiting to help the defense. Holy crap! Yeah, and listen, they lost to Oregon this year because they couldn't stop them. They couldn't stop Michigan, right? Michigan did whatever they wanted on them, and then you saw what Michigan did when they went up against Florida. So, I mean, it's definitely
they're soft up front. They're soft up front.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on, Baylor and Ole Miss. This game kind of got ruined. Matt Corral got hurt early in the game, and that sucks. He played in the game, he didn't opt out, and then he got hurt. So that's terrible. Baylor wins at 21-7. Great season for Baylor.
Oh, it was. And you talk about a tough team, and that game was very low scoring, even when he was playing. They were doing a good job against him. I am very impressed with Baylor. I don't know if they'd have won had he not got hurt, but anyway, I bet he's still a high draft choice. I don't think him getting hurt. I don't think he tore his knee up or anything.
No.
So I don't think him getting hurt is going to hurt him in the pros.
I think you're right about that. I think it just would have been nice to see him put up a big performance.
Oh, exactly.
But I think you're right. I don't think it really hurt his future or anything like that, thankfully. This was a great game, I thought. You had to have enjoyed this too. The Iowa game against Kentucky, down to the wire. Kentucky struggles on offense. Iowa struggles on offense. Iowa gets the lead. Kentucky, a dramatic late touchdown to win this one, 20-7. Did you enjoy this one?
Oh, I loved every minute of it. I loved watching Iowa play, and I didn't really mind that they lost because I really like Kentucky too. I like Mark Stoops. I think he does about as good a job as any, and I think the guy at Iowa does too. I thought Iowa was valiant in gallant in coming back in that game. They couldn't get anything going. Yeah. Typical Iowa, came from nowhere, took the lead, and a great drive by Kentucky to win it. So that was a good way to start off what I thought was one of the best New Year's Day games, list of games there's been in a long time.
Yeah. So here, I totally agree. Here is a question. Russ says, are we worried about Levy going up against that Baylor defense after this showing, or was it more about the quarterback being out for this game? Honestly, Russ, I didn't even think about it until you just said it. So, no, I'm not worried.
Well, I'm worried about what kind of quarterback they're going to have.
I was going to say I'm more worried about is the Ole Miss quarterback that played the second half and the second quarter as well going to be our quarterback?
Well, I'll just answer this too, Russ. Having coached for a long time, good coaches normally have great players, and that's what makes them good coaches. So we'll see what the quarterback situation is at OU before we worry about Jeff Levy.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the final game. Arkansas, Russ, your Hogs get the job done 24-10. Kind of a Jekyll and Hyde Razorback team. First quarter, it's like, oh boy, Arkansas is better, like way better. Second quarter, it's like, has Arkansas played football? And then the second half, Arkansas dominates this game. Really good win for the Hogs. Great season. They go 9-4 for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, I would say they can't wait till next year. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with their quarterback. He's strong. And I think he's pretty young. I think he's going to get better. So,
our family members always text me hating on him. I'm like, shit, I think he's pretty good. And I mean, if Caleb Williams leaves, maybe we can buy Jefferson. I'm kidding. Russ, I'm coming down to Fayetteville to talk to Jefferson.
Oh, what I'm hearing is the guy, and I don't know about this one, but it's the Thompson kid at Texas.
Yeah, Casey Thompson. Yeah, Casey Thompson.
Lindsay, tell us if you can there, Texas, who's the real tough teams on the Arkansas schedule next year. I mean, I know the SEC's tough. Do they have some non-conference games?
Yes, it's brutal. I'll let Lindsay text it, but it's brutally hard. Okay. Their non-conference schedule is tough.
Okay.
Penn State was outmanned on defense, Russ says, for sure. And Russ said the defense really showed up, and he's right. They had a busted coverage where it looked like it's like, wow, I can't even believe that just happened. But other than that, like especially the second half, they smoked them. So it was a really, really good win.
Okay.
And yeah, Cincinnati comes to Fayetteville. Arkansas also goes to BYU, and they also have Liberty, I believe, coming into Fayetteville. So 3 pretty quality teams there.
I don't think Cincinnati will be as good next year, though.
Lindsay asked me a question off air. He texted it to me, and we'll round out college football by this. She asked, do you think the first timers in the playoffs made a difference? Meaning 2 teams that had experience in the playoffs, Georgia and Alabama, versus 2 teams, Michigan and Cincinnati, that did not. Do you think that made any difference?
It could. It could. It's a circus. Those playoff games are a circus with the media coverage and all of that. Yeah, if you haven't been through it, it could definitely present a problem. And there's no doubt Alabama's masters at handling the distractions that go on. So, yeah, that's a good point. It could have happened.
Yeah, I think it was a good question, Lindsay. And I don't know why you text me when you're still writing on our chat. But she says, here's the schedule. They open up with Cincinnati. Then they go to BYU. They have Liberty. And, oh, yeah, Bobby Petrino comes to town. He brings the Missouri State Bears. Yes, that's right. Bobby Petrino coaches the Missouri State Bears. And he's done a very good job, by the way. They will go to Fayetteville as well. So that is a
tough schedule.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Now let's move on to professional football, the NFL. I mean, do you even want to talk about the Monday night game? We don't have to if you don't want to.
Did you know Pittsburgh still got a shot?
Yes. Pittsburgh still has a shot to make the playoffs. They must
win both games. They got to win both, and Indianapolis has to lose, I believe.
Yes, and Indianapolis plays Jacksonville, so that's probably not going to happen, but they still do have a hope. Yes.
Yeah. That's all I want to talk about in the playoffs, in this game tonight.
Yeah, big game for Pittsburgh, meaningless game for the Browns. They are eliminated. Now, here's the big thing. This is what this game is all about. I have Nick Chubb and Najee Harris on my fantasy team in the championship game tonight. These are my last 2 players. And who I'm playing has Baker Mayfield. And I'm down by 5 points. So if I can't make that 5 points, I don't know what to say.
Well, okay. Pittsburgh's defense is terrible. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You would agree, right?
Yep.
Chubb should have a big game. Right?
Yep.
He should outplay Harris, is what I'm trying to say.
I have Harris, though.
Oh, you got Harris, too.
I have Harris and Chubb versus Baker Mayfield.
Oh, I thought you had Mayfield and Chubb. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, so you got both the running backs.
Yeah.
And the other guy's got Kelby's Mayfield. Got Baker.
Yeah. If I lose this, it's just the worst. So
because you've got to root against Baker, which is not good. If I had to bet, I'd bet on the 2 running backs over Baker.
See, and here's the thing. Russ says if it's a 24-man league, must be starting Baker. It's a 10-man league, Russ, but we play 2 quarterbacks. But here's the deal. The guy I'm playing has been Roethlisberger and has chose to start Mayfield over Roethlisberger. I think that's a bad move. So I think I may got lucky there.
He might be thinking that Pittsburgh's defense is so bad.
Yeah.
But I think Cleveland, if they win, is going to feature the running game more than Baker throwing it.
I would think.
Well, I think you're okay.
I think I'm better than okay, but I just know how it goes. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. But yeah, big night. Like I said, down 5 points. If I win the whole league. So it's a big fantasy night. That's it for me. All right, quickly we'll go through this. The Bills. 1 step closer to clinching the division. 29-15 win over the Falcons. They looked good. It was bad weather. They just had to get a win and get out of there. The Bears we don't care about. That they did beat the Giants 29-3. Okay, here's another big rant here. If you watch this game, the Bengals win the North. They clinch it with a 34-31 win over the Chiefs. Boy, that is not even the start of the. I mean, where do you begin? Absolutely horribly officiated game. I thought the Chiefs really got screwed. But Cincinnati has 4th and goal from the 1 with 50 seconds left in a 31-31 game and went for it and got stopped, but a penalty causes them to get another chance, offsetting penalties. And they didn't learn and say, you know what, maybe we should kick this field goal now. They went for it again They got stopped again, but another penalty caused them to get the ball. Then 1st and goal, they run out the clock and win on a field goal. What did you think about this? This was made me the most mad out of anything, maybe the last month.
I just was sitting there stunned.
Yeah.
You know, you could, I don't know. Everything went exactly right for Cincinnati when it should have went all wrong.
Yep.
This is when, if you're a coach, you go home and you look up at the stars and say, thank you, I was living right today.
Yep.
Because if they don't get that penalty, by the way, it wasn't just a penalty. It was a defensive holding penalty, which gave them an automatic 1st down.
Yep.
I mean, everything. I remember when they didn't get the remember when it was like what, 4th in a yard or 3rd in a yard, and they didn't score. They got a 1st down.
Yep.
What was it? Was it 3rd down when they got that, or was that 4th down?
Yeah, I think it was 3rd down. Yep.
They got what, like half a yard is all they needed for the 1st down.
Yep.
And they got it, and they didn't score. Romo said then, "Oh my God, that's exactly what they needed to happen."
Yep.
Because the issue was keep the ball away from Mahomes, so he doesn't have enough time to come down and beat you. Mm-hmm. That was the issue. So then, if they don't get that penalty and they get stopped, do they fire that guy? For not kicking the field goal? I mean, that's the dumbest move I think I have ever seen. I just simply, and you guys may disagree with me, you have to get points in that situation. And if he comes down and beats you, well, he just comes down and beats you. That's just the Chiefs had no timeouts.
No.
0 timeouts.
So
it would have been very hard to come down and score a touchdown. Now, they may come down and tie it with a field goal.
Yeah.
But scoring a touchdown with that amount of time and no timeouts left, that's pretty hard to do.
You know, Heather was down watching with me, but she wasn't really paying like attention, right? Just kind of like glancing up every once in a while. We're hanging out. And I'm yelling at the TV when there's 2 minutes, 40 seconds left, and Cincinnati has it at the 1. I'm yelling, let them score, Kansas City. Let them score. The worst thing you can do is let them run a bunch of timeout.
Yeah, that's what you were ranting about. Yeah.
So let them score, and then it didn't let them. I said, okay, maybe now. Never let them. And I was like, God damn, you guys, unbelievable. And then they lined up to go for this on this 4th down, and I stood up and it was like, no, what are you doing? She glanced up and said, what is going on? I said, it's 4th and 1. They're going to go for it. She looked at the TV. She goes, well, why would they do that? There's 50 seconds left. Just kick the field goal. I said, exactly. And they run the play, and she's like, oh, my God, this is so dumb. And I was like, well, I don't know. There's flags. Maybe something happened. And then it was offsetting penalties. Heather was like, well, okay, kick the field goal now. You saw what could happen. You got really lucky. Just kick it now for sure. Go for it again. And I'm like, oh my God.
Well, he went for it once. He went for it once. He'd had to do it again.
No, I totally disagree. He went for it once and he should have said, okay, that was dumb.
Yeah, but that would have meant he was wrong the first time.
You know, think about it. The 2 times they went for it, they weren't close either time.
No. Well, the play calls were horrible.
They were.
Run the freaking ball. You just needed a foot. Run some kind of I don't know. It was awful. And I think maybe Randy Reed was sitting over there, and I think he was thinking, this guy across the way, he's an idiot. Yeah. So I'm just going to take my chances.
Well, at the end of the day, Andy Reid ended up, as it worked out, making the right call. I still would have let him score, but the Chiefs got some horrific calls. Listen, I'm not a Chiefs fan.
Oh, I know, but they
got terrible calls in this game. It was awful. Yeah. And I even text Jared. I'm like, this is ridiculous what's happening right now in this game. Yeah. The one worry I would have is the Chiefs defense did get torched in this game. Kind of got outgunned a little bit. Joe Burrow, much bigger numbers from the quarterback standpoint as Mahomes. And also the Chiefs had some chances to kind of put that game out of reach and couldn't do it. So What do you think moving forward? Cincinnati's not going to, I'm sorry, they're not going to go do anything, I don't think, in the playoffs. The Chiefs probably lost that number one spot now in the division. What do you think of the Chiefs' chances? Do you still like them the best?
I do, because I don't know, though. Tennessee might have Derrick Henry back by then. There's a pretty good shot.
Yep.
And they have a great running game, and they control the clock, and they have a shot if it comes down to them. But I don't know whether Tennessee will get that far. They may lose their first. They'll get a bye. They may lose the next one, because the way it would shape up, if things go right, they would either play Buffalo or New England. Now, I'm not sure they beat either one of them.
I'm not sure they do either.
So I like Buffalo as the main competition for the Chiefs, I think, right at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I still would pick the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Somebody said the home field advantage. I don't think that matters a whole lot to Mahomes and the Chiefs. I think they can win anywhere. But that was a tough loss for them. It really was.
Yeah.
And makes them doubt themselves a little bit.
For sure. And like I said, they do lose the home field advantage. I kind of agree. I don't think it makes a huge difference. I think Tennessee is a weak number one.
Terribly
seed.
weak.
But like I said, getting Henry back will help. I still don't think they're great, though. Quick question. Are you sick of listening to Romo? And Russ says Romo is just bad. What are your thoughts on Tony Romo? Do you like him?
I do. So I'll be in the minority here. So I got to tell you guys, I don't listen to that shit much.
I'm the same way.
I turn the sound down as low as I can.
I do too.
And I get so sick of it with any of them.
Yeah.
Now Sandy, she's got to have that TV turned up because she likes to listen to them. So when she's watching with me, I hear it, but he doesn't bother me too much. None of them do, really. I kind of like Aikman. I get a little tired of him sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think he's pretty fair. I do. Now, the guy on with Michaels, he gets on my nerves. Collinsworth.
Yeah.
He gets on my nerves a little bit. I think he's harmless, but he gets on my nerves a little bit. But
yeah. See, that's the thing. I like, maybe not the drunk fans, but I like to hear the crowd. So I have the sound on, but I don't pay attention to the announcers whatsoever. I just don't.
I do think he gets a lot of things right.
Yeah, he does. He does. A lot of hate for Joe Buck on here. Lincoln says better than Joe Buck. And then Jason almost says Aikman's okay, but Joe Buck is god awful. No comment on Joe Buck. You must like him.
Doesn't bother me a bit.
See, again, I just don't. I don't pay attention to him. I really don't. Like the Manning cast, everybody's going crazy over that. I can't. I don't. That's the last thing I want to do is have them be like the forefront and the screen for the game being little over here in the corner. No,
I don't care for that at all.
No,
I don't really give a shit what they think.
I don't either. I don't care. I really and honestly and truly don't. And I don't have anything against those guys.
No, I don't either. I like them both.
That's why I don't watch football to listen to them talk. I just don't.
Like I said, I don't give a shit about what they think.
I don't either.
Magic, I like him too. So you're me and you.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's a pair.
Blood brothers. Okay. Blood brothers.
Oh, Buck brothers. All right, let's go.
Yeah, we're the Buck brothers.
Sandy says she doesn't like the Manning group. It's annoying.
It is.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's just like, I don't care about this. Yeah, we should do this. Do 2 Bet Sports live stream during the game. We should definitely do that.
That was a little TV, and we're sitting there calling plays. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Remember Monday Night Football when Dennis Miller and Tony Kornheiser did it?
That was awful.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's move on. Tennessee, like I said, they're one step closer. They got to win one more, and they play the Jets, and they should do it. But they beat the Dolphins 34-3, ending the Dolphins' run at the playoffs. They're 8-8 with one game left. Still a good recovery, but the Dolphins season pretty much done. Huge, huge, huge win for the Raiders. They beat the Colts on the road 23-20. So now the Raiders and Chargers will play this week, and the winner goes to the playoffs. The loser most likely stays home because the Colts play Jacksonville. So if the Colts win, they are in. So essentially, Raiders, Chargers in a must-win game for the playoffs coming up. We'll talk about that one on Thursday. That's going to be fun. Patriots get right 50-10 over the Jaguars. Oh, no, Papa Dude, not another rant. Tampa Bay beats the Jets 28-24. Lost in this is Tom Brady pulls off a miracle comeback somehow in New York. How were they behind and how it happened? Brady had no wide receivers. He still gets it done. Antonio Brown takes off the shoulder pads, chucks the shirt, chucks the gloves into the crowd, and walks off at the middle of the game. Did you ever think you would see anything like this, Papa Dude?
No, it didn't surprise me at all. These guys they're freaking idiots. They are just self-centered, selfish son of a bitches is what they are. They don't give a shit about anybody but themselves. And that's what college is coming to, and that's why I'm sick about it. Oh, my God.
I think, Magic, you may just had a new soundbite that you could use for our intro video there.
No, you probably shouldn't. You might have to bleep it. Bleep it if you do. But no. I mean, I've heard people, talk about it all day on sports radio, and I think he played in Pittsburgh for like 9 years.
Yep.
And how did Mike Tomlin put up with? I guess he can put up with anything if he put up with him for 9 years. I guess he respected him. I don't know, but we don't know what happened. I thought Brady. Did you hear what he had to say after the game?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people hate Brady, but you talk about a class guy.
Yeah.
Brady was very calm and said, "Listen, we got to give this guy the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
he's got some problems. Let's hope he gets this worked out." He don't have a problem. He's just a self-centered son of a bitch. That's all he is. It's all about him.
It's definitely coming out. People are worried. Mark says he needs some help.
I don't.
He's a ticking time bomb anywhere he goes.
Well, let's go tick off somewhere else.
Yeah, he's definitely gone now. Yeah, and Jason.
Mark, here's why I don't feel sorry for him. How much money has he made being an asshole?
Yeah,
a lot. And he's still the same asshole he was before he had any money. And he just, there's something wrong with him. And you know what? He's not our problem, guys. He's not our problem. Get him out of there. I loved what the Tampa Bay coach said. We're not talking about him. He's not a buck anymore. Let's talk about some guys that are here. I love it.
I thought Brady very classy though, like you said. He
was. He was great.
Because that was they were behind 2 scores when this happened. And I mean, this was like, wow, Tampa Bay is having a meltdown. And it's like, oh wait, they still have Tom Brady. And he's going to throw to literally, I think you and I could have played receiver at one point in that game. I mean, unbelievable. Yep. I think Tampa Bay's just, they're a sinking ship, so to speak, but it was a
lot of injuries.
Yeah. A lot of injuries for sure. The Eagles, we'll move on here. The Eagles clinched the playoff spot 20-16. Unbelievable. The Eagles are in the playoffs. I was looking back on our predictions to start the year before the year started. Like, man, we hated the Eagles. And
I know.
Great year. All respect. They had to come from behind on the road. I know Washington's not great, but still division opponent on the road behind. They win. Hats off to the Eagles, 100%.
Absolutely. What a year. And you know what? That guy's he's done a heck of a job of coaching.
I mean, my God, you'd have to say so, right?
They gave up on the season. They got rid of some players, and maybe they were problems. I don't know, but they turned it around. They're in the playoffs. I don't think it matters who they play. I don't think they're going to beat them. But, they don't even have to worry about this Dallas game this week.
I'm going to tell you, even if they get beat 80-0 in the playoffs, they have exceeded expectations, and they have a lot to build on in the future from this season. So.
By the way, you mentioned we went through all that. I think it was our third show we ever did. I went back and listened to that. and we're both 15-10, with 7 teams still up in the air, up in arms or up in the air as to what their win total is going to be. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. 15-10. I'll take that all day, and hopefully we don't miss those 7. So
and remember when we said there's no way the Chiefs are going to lose 5 games, and they did.
Yep. Unbelievable, right?
Yep.
That just seemed impossible before.
I know.
So, one team we got right though, Cincinnati. I mean, I know we were both saying, yeah, that's too low. They're going to win more than that. So that was definitely good. All right, move on to the last few here. I thought the Rams did. They played like shit for most of this game, but they pull it out and win 20-19. And they just kind of keep winning, right? I really like the Rams moving forward in the playoffs here.
Yeah, I do too. I thought they were beat. I really did. And they got a tough game this week. That's a big one, them and the 49ers. So
it's a big game, and we'll talk about that for just a second. Quickly, the Chargers beat the Broncos 34-13. That sets up that win, and you're in with the Raiders this week. And you talked about San Francisco going to play the Rams this week. They beat the Texans 23-7. Here's why it's important. San Francisco has to win or get a New Orleans loss to make the playoffs. So if San Francisco loses to the Rams in New Orleans, beats the Falcons. That's who they play. They play the Falcons. New Orleans will be in the playoffs, and San Francisco will be out. So that is a huge game coming up, and they did take care of business. The Cardinals, they still could win the division after this win, 25-22 over Dallas. And like I said, if San Francisco beats the Rams and the Cardinals beat the Seahawks, the Cardinals have won the division after that lull. Even if they didn't, I thought this was a huge win for the Cardinals to kind of come out and say, you know what? We're not done.
Right.
We're not going to just tank it. 25-22, they beat Dallas. What did you think of this one?
I agree with you totally. That's exactly what I thought. They needed a confidence builder, something to right the ship. And they got it. I thought they played really well. They played tough. They could have scored more points. They couldn't get that daggum thing in the end zone. But they'd kicked too many field goals. But I still think that was a big win for them. Now they got Seattle at home, and they need to win that. And then they're going to go into the playoffs in a good way. And they still got a shot at second, I believe. I believe they can get as high as second.
They can.
And, man, would that be something when just last week we had them buried in fifth. And here's another thing. The way it's shaping up right now, they would play Dallas again in the first round. And I think they might have Dallas's number. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, huge win.
Big win. And Kyler Murray's never lost in that stadium. He's now 8-0. So that's another factor if they do have to play Dallas again. So their playoff situation looks much, much better than it did this time last week. That's for sure.
Even though they're in the same spot as they were, it just looks so much better to get that.
Well, to play Dallas, I think that's the matchup you would want if they don't win the division. And now they actually have a shot to win the division again as well. So, you're right. They're in the same spot, but boy, it feels better.
It does. They got to be feeling good about themselves. And again, look at Dallas. That's just what they do. It's just
to Mark's.
Here's the thing with the Saints here. I like the Saints' chances better than I do the 49ers. What do you think?
Yeah, the Saints, they beat the Panthers 18-10. They get to 8-8. They play the Falcons. I'm telling you, the Saints are rough. They're rough. They're not very impressive. But, if you said, hey, you got to win one game, you're going to play the Niners, or you want to play the Falcons, or you want to play the 49ers, certainly you're going to pick the Falcons. So,
and I think the Saints have a much better chance of beating the Panthers than the Niners do the Rams.
Yep, I know it. So
I do think the 49ers are a lot better.
Yeah, I do too. I think the 49ers are a better team than the Saints, but that'll be interesting to see how that goes. The Seattle Seahawks win 51-29 over the Fighting Lions from Detroit. And then finally, Green Bay seals up the number 1 seed. They win 37-10 over the Vikings. The Vikings were helpless in this game. What do you think?
I I got a comment on the commentary of that game last night.
Okay.
I don't know how much of it you watched.
I did watch all of it.
I would have liked to have had $10 for every time they said Aaron Rodgers' name in that game last night. Was that the most sickening thing you've ever heard in your life?
Yeah, it was bad.
Every time I didn't listen to it hardly at all. I was in and out of the room and messing around. And every time I'd come in, they were talking about how wonderful he is.
Yeah.
Well, okay, he is, but come on, guys. That's that was I was so sick of that last night.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty sickening, but their defense, they didn't really have anything to call.
Well,
Minnesota was helpless. They couldn't move it. They had a backup quarterback. Their defense couldn't get pressure. Their defense couldn't cover anybody. They couldn't stop the run. I mean, it was like an exhibition.
We got to give Rodgers his due. He has had a great season. He is playing great. He really is.
Yeah. He's the MVP of the league.
Yeah.
So
him and his toe.
Yeah.
He played well.
What's that?
He has played well.
Yeah, he has. He definitely has. As Sandy said, if the Browns don't win tonight, it will be embarrassing. The Browns aren't going to win tonight. So get ready to be embarrassed.
Come on, honey. We've been embarrassed all year. They've been bad.
Well, listen, this may be the last, this week and next week, might be the last Browns game you ever watch, because I think it's 50-50 at best. Baker Mayfield's back in Cleveland.
I did see the offensive coordinator, and I don't know how much power he's got, come out this week and really defend Mayfield and saying how that harness has affected his throwing motion. The harness he has on his hurt shoulder, the left shoulder, has affected him. And, if he's not fit to play, they shouldn't play him. Maybe he's insisting to play. I don't know. Anyway, it's somebody will take him. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see where he ends up. I don't know. I'm very, 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 very skeptical of him being back in Cleveland. All right. Rooting for Chubb and Harris for me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hopefully we get it. Very early prediction. Are you going Bama or Georgia, or have you not made up your mind yet?
I'm not rooting. I'm not picking against Bama, so the answer is Bama.
Yeah, and you're getting points. I'm kind of with you. I don't know.
Just can't pick against them. Every time I do, I regret it. So,
all right, let's play a little game, okay?
Well, first, one thing.
Okay.
Did you enjoy the Winter Classic hockey game as much as I did?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I got a kick out of Darren Pang.
Yeah.
Who was one of the color guys.
Yep.
Talking about how cold he was.
Yeah.
That was funny as could be. That was really
it was
good.
Great. Yeah, the Winter Classic, the annual outdoor game in the NHL, the Blues and Minnesota played, and it was a great game. It was a great game. The Blues won. It was a great game for us because the Blues won easily. 6-4. It was freezing cold. The Blues showed up in Hawaiian shirts. I thought that was fantastic. Ryan O'Reilly's beard was frozen. I thought that was fantastic.
It was good.
Man, it was definitely good. Mark says 10 of my friends were there. Their beards and beers were freezing as well. Yeah.
What was it, like 10 below wind chill, or was it a temperature, wasn't it?
Yep. It was, I think, at -4, and then 10 below was the windshield. Yeah.
Okay. It was brutal.
If you love hockey like we do, it's just an added element to it. So, Aaron is happier. Brock Lesnar won the championship again. No, I don't watch that. I don't watch the WWE as much, Lincoln. I'm a AEW guy now. Lincoln, listen. Wednesday night is a big night. I will not be available Wednesday night for anything. So it's a big AEW night. So,
by the way, one more thing about Lincoln. I heard he was in a Mule Shoe, where he's from.
And
he and his family went up to Amarillo to some restaurant to eat, and they had to leave because the people in Amarillo were hassling him so much over what happened at OU.
Okay. I need to know where he went to eat.
Well, I didn't get that.
Remember, I lived in Amarillo for 6 weeks.
No, they said where it was, and if I heard it, I probably would know.
Was it the steakhouse? Like the
no.
Eat the shit.
No.
God, I got to know this. I have to know it. Lincoln, where'd you go? You're here.
I think I would know it if you said it. I had never heard of it.
I went to all the local ones. First of all, I can't believe he was in Amarillo. He lowered.
Well, now this is what I heard on Oklahoma radio today, so take it for what it's worth.
I think they might be lying about this, but we'll see here.
Well, it was true.
So was it you don't know what kind of restaurant it was or anything?
Oh, it's Lincoln Riley. I mean, come on.
Well, it's Amarillo. There isn't much there.
Like 3 words. But the silver cup or the
silver cup?
I don't know.
There's not.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I might not know the name of it.
The Big Steer? It wasn't the Big Steer?
No, that's that restaurant where you eat the.
Yeah, you could eat the steak. You eat it all. It's a huge steak. Yeah. No, the Big Texan is not.
Oh, okay.
Big Texan. Listen, if you ever go through Amarillo, it's worth going in there. I mean, the food isn't anything great, but it's kind of fun.
I don't know what it is.
That's fascinating. They had to leave, huh?
Whoever I heard this on, I don't remember what show, but somebody was in there that was a friend of one of the broadcasters on the radio show, and they had told him that they were in there.
Wow, that's amazing. Gosh, I got to figure out where that's at. That's unbelievable. Amarillo, not a bad place, honest to God. Really not that bad. All right. I was gonna say, if I gave you, let's play a game. Whataburger.
No, that's where Venables goes.
Okay. If I get let's play Would You Bet This? Okay. If I said I'll give you 10-1 odds on the Rams to win the Super Bowl, would you bet it?
10-1?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. They currently are 10-1 to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Okay. If I said I'll give you 10-1 odds on the New England Patriots, would you bet it?
No.
No. Okay. I agree. They're actually 16-1. So I tried to trick you up with that one, but you were right on. If I said who are the favorites right now to win the Super Bowl, who would you think would be the favorites?
This is not necessarily who I think's the favorite.
But, yeah, who are the betting
who
favorites?
I think's going to win.
Yeah.
Packers, Chiefs.
You're right. The Packers are 4-1. The Chiefs are 5-1. Would you bet Green Bay at 4-1 right now?
No.
Would you bet the Chiefs at 5-1?
Yes, every day.
Okay, so you are saying the Chiefs at 5-1. Do you think that's the best? Let me read them all off. The Packers are 4-1. The Chiefs are 5-1. So far they're your best bet. You think?
That's my AFC participant. Okay.
Okay, but if you had to pick one, the Chiefs would be it.
So far, yes. Mm-hmm.
Tampa is 7.5-1.
Okay.
What do you think?
What else I got?
The Bills are 7.5-1.
Can't take them because I got the Chiefs.
Yeah, Rams, like I said. The Cowboys are 10-1. No way I'd bet that.
No, so it's between Tampa and the Rams for me.
Okay. Tennessee, 14-1. This is going to be the number 1 team in the AFC. They're going to have home field throughout. So
they're 14-1.
They're 14-1. Would you bet them at 14-1?
No.
Okay, see, that's very interesting. That goes to the take of I think they're one of the weakest teams to ever be number 1. Indianapolis at 16-1.
I would bet them before I would Tennessee. But no, I would not bet them.
The Arizona Cardinals were once the best team in the league record-wise. They're 18-1 right now.
18-1. I would bet them before I would Dallas.
Jason Hummel says the Titans 14-1. Hell yeah. And Dan says the Rams are the best value. You would bet the Cardinals before you would bet Dallas. I will take the Cardinals at 18-1 over Dallas at 10-1.
Yes.
100% agree with that. Yeah. Cincinnati Bengals are 20-1. That's pretty good value on the Bengals.
I like the Bengals better than I do Tennessee.
I would kind of agree with that as well. And then we get to the long shot. San Francisco 49ers 35-1.
No.
Let's see, I lost my place. The Los Angeles Chargers, 35-1.
No, they may not even make the playoffs. So
well, that's why they're 35-1.
No, I would not bet them. You know, I would not bet them. There's no chance.
Would you take a flyer on Jalen Hurts at 60-1?
Love him, but no.
And then
60-1 might throw $1 or $2 in there, but not very
much. The Raiders are 100-1.
No, I tell you, they could beat the Chargers this week.
Yeah, but then they're going to have to play the Chiefs in the first round.
A couple bucks on 100-1. No, they're not going to win the Super Bowl. No.
How about this? Eagles 60-1, Raiders 100-1, Saints 150, Minnesota's 200. They are eliminated.
They're out.
Why they're on there? The Ravens are 250-1, and the Steelers are 500-1. Who would you take out of all those?
Okay, so it says who is the Saints?
Saints are 150. The Raiders are 100. Eagles are 60-1, and then that's really it. Like the Vikings, Ravens.
Oh, they're out. They're out.
They're out. So out of those three, who would you rather play?
The Eagles. Who would I rather play?
Yeah, Eagles. No. Who would you rather bet?
Who would I bet?
Yeah,
the Eagles.
Eagles at 60-1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So out of all of them, though, you think the Chiefs at 5-1, that would lead the play.
That would be my. Oh, I was supposed to pick the Super Bowl winner, wasn't
right.
I?
Mm-hmm.
If Brady can get there, oh boy, I can't.
I can't bet them.
I just can't bet against them. Here's the thing. But I don't think Green Bay's going to make it.
Really?
I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't. They don't make it usually. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know. The best bet I think is the Rams at 10-1, just because of the odds.
Yep, I do too. I would bet the Rams and the Chiefs.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm with you. Even if the Packers get there, it's just I don't want to take the favorite this year. 4-1 seems a little low. I think you're right. Yeah, I'm going to go the Chiefs and the Rams there.
I think that NFC is going to be a crapshoot.
Yeah,
you know, it's hard to figure. If the Chiefs play like they're capable, they should win the AFC. I think.
I would think. Yeah, I would.
Buffalo scares me. What was Buffalo again? 7.5.
7.5-1.
If the Chiefs lose this week, Buffalo could pass them and get the home. See, that's what you don't know right now. I don't think the Chiefs are going to lose in Denver, though. So
no, I don't either.
I don't know if Buffalo, if they get to the Chiefs, I don't know if they can beat them in Kansas City.
I agree.
They have once, but I don't know if they did again.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But we'll see. I think how these teams play the last couple of weeks going in, or the last week and then the first week of the playoffs. We'll see when we get there. But it's very wide open. It could go a lot of different ways this year. There's no doubt about that. So,
right.
All right, guys, we're going to get off of here. The Monday Night Football game has started, and nobody has any points. Well, fantasy-wise, it's big for me. I
know you have to watch it. I don't.
This is a $700 game for me tonight, so we'll see what happens.
Oh.
Yeah, so look for Chubb and Harris to get a lot of rushing yards. That's the key tonight. All right, guys. We're going to get off here. Thank you all for joining us. I thought the first 30 minutes of the show was fantastic with all the interactions. So,
you guys were great. Fantastic.
Yeah, we knew Papa Dude would bring it, and he did. And so, yeah, it's going to be good. So the Thursday show, we'll talk about those must-win games in the NFL last week of the season. And, of course, we'll talk about the national championship game.
And also, Aaron, the website has switched over to basketball.
Yep.
Made our first picks today on a couple of games in basketball. So we'll see how we do. The NBA games are pretty tough sometimes.
Yeah, let me pull up and we'll put the site on the screen here for everybody. Just a second here. There it is. Okay, so whoops, let me click on that. So you go to the site right now and you see all the horse racing new stuff Magic is posting as we speak. go to other sports, and there you go. You got a free basketball pick for tonight for the NCAA and for the NBA. Of course, you got still some football articles left up there as well. You got the Monday night game is there as well. So a lot going on the site right now. And yeah, basketball going to be full force. Boy, and now that college football is about over, still have NFL as well, obviously, throughout the rest of the season.
And we'll have picks every day.
Yeah,
because there's games every day.
Yeah, so that's right. So what Val Papadu's basically done, it's like, here are your NBA best bets, and he's got 2 of them today, and then he has one game he really likes in college tonight.
Well, there wasn't very many college games tonight. And by the way, COVID is just smashing college basketball. There's a lot of postponements in college basketball right now. So it remains to be seen what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And by the way, then Aaron has NHL picks too, right?
Yeah, I'll click on that. NHL picks every game, every night. There it is there. Only one game tonight on the 3rd, Edmonton in New York. And then 8 games tomorrow for the 4th. And same thing with the college or with college and NBA and also NHL. A lot of COVID problems, a lot of cancellations. But we're definitely covering everything here as we keep on keeping on. Just because football's over doesn't mean we're going away. We'll be here. So
that's right.
Make sure to tune in for all of that and check out the website, guys, as we keep on going. So, all right, that's it. We really are going to get sounds like the Browns dropped the pass. Big shock. Baker can't throw it and catch it. Yeah,
my wife is very upset at the Cleveland receivers.
Well, they're awful. So,
yeah.
All right, we're getting off here, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back on Thursday. Until then, good luck, everybody, into your wagers, and we'll see you right back here on Thursday. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Dudes Who Bet Sports.
So you want to bet sports, but you need some advice on how to cash in big at a heck of a price. Well, if you want enough money to line your shorts, then you're in the right place. This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well,